The topic of this tutorial is the art of improv as it relates to dance. Once, after a performance that didn't go quite as planned, one of my dear dance sisters suggested I teach a workshop on how to make mistakes. I admit I do have expertise in the area of making mistakes. I make a lot of them. I think, though, what she meant is how to cover mistakes when you make them so that the audience doesn't know that a mistake was made. So this video will help address that topic. Honing your skills at improvisation will make your improv look like choreography and your choreography look like improv. My own improvisational skills have been hard-won. They've come about as a result of performances where I've forgotten choreography or just not finished choreographing parts of a dance that I'm scheduled to perform. They've resulted from costume malfunctions and props that were dropped mid-performance, or somehow mysteriously winding up with another person's prop in my hand mid-dance. They've resulted from having to adapt to various surfaces and spaces that were less than ideal, and from having audience members join me in dance mid-performance in unexpected ways. But improvisation is more than what happens when you make a mistake. So what is improv? I think of improv as expression rather than imitation. It's an openness and willingness to embody the music and rhythm and to be responsive to whatever is happening in the moment. This quote by Alia Thabit highlights the importance of improvisation in Eastern dance. She writes that Eastern dance is traditionally a dance of improvisation, of on-the-fly musical interpretation, of subtle emotional timbres, somatic experience, and intuitive interaction between dancer and musician. And that musician plays improvised music created in the moment as an expression of his feeling. For the musicians, dancers, guests, the goal is tarab, musical ecstasy. Every performance becomes a never-to-be-repeated art happening, uniting performers and guests in a state of joy. Of course, in this digital age, we tend to dance to recorded music, but we can keep that spirit of tarab alive, that sense of shared joy, by staying open to what arises in the moment and by keeping our connection to our audience and to the rhythm of the music that we embody. So the question becomes, how do we develop and practice a skill that by its very nature requires us to respond to the ever-changing moment? These are a few broad ideas that may help us answer that question. Through intention, presence, connection, and play, we can hone our skills at improv. Not all artists will begin with intention. Some, like writer Paul Gallico, choose to metaphorically open a vein and bleed. But for those of us who find that sort of thing too messy, setting a clear intention beforehand about what you want to communicate can be very useful. That intention may simply be creating a tarab state, or maybe there is another feeling or idea that you want to communicate to your audience. If you're doing a character dance, for example, it may be useful before your performance to write out the story of that character or to take some time putting the character's walk or gestures in your movement vocabulary so that you can draw upon them more easily when needed. Another aspect of improvisation is presence. Presence is a state of mind. It is being here and now, fully embodied in a state of clear, calm, alert, non-judgmental awareness. It requires turning off the internal critic so that you're able to carefully look and listen to whatever appears before you. When you are present, it is much easier to establish a connection, and connection is at the heart of improv. That connection can be anything. It can be a person in the audience or some aspect of the environment, an idea, or it can be a connection to your own intuitive response. And that intuitive response is what we rely on to make decisions in the moment on the fly. And that brings us to play. In Stuart Brown's book, Play, How It Shapes the Brain, Opens the Imagination, and Invigorates the Soul, play is defined as purposeless, voluntary, improvisational activities that are done because of their inherent attraction. In other words, play is the stuff you do because it's just plain fun. And play is all about discovering and cultivating your own joy. If you have limited time or you're feeling inhibited or shy, you can set aside time to play by yourself, exploring props and characters and movement with or without music. The work you do in classes and workshops, studying choreography and technique, gives you the vocabulary for your style of dance. Play helps you develop new pathways. It gives you a safe space where you can have happy accidents and learn to respond creatively in the moment. Play is where you practice intuitive synthesis of your technique and where you learn to trust your body. Another fun way to practice improv is to schedule play dates with others. Improv classes allow you to practice newfound skills in a safe context where you can learn with and from other dancers. I've had the opportunity to take several improv classes and have found each one a unique learning experience. Taking improv classes in a field outside of dance, like theater or comedy, also provides lessons that are transferable. Neuroscience has shown us that emotions are contagious through the activity of mirror neurons. These neurons activate not only when we experience an emotion, but also when we see others experiencing an emotion. When you are relaxed and having fun, it gives others a chance to share in that feeling. So find your joy and invite others along for the ride.